Trying out a new camera angle, so I hope this works for you guys. For those of you on the podcast, I have a YouTube channel. You could watch this. I'm just driving around in circles. If you don't care and you just like listening, then that's fine. Just stay on the podcast. But if you want like a POV, like a passenger point of view, then go ahead and go to YouTube. And by the way, thanks for you guys that actually watch a podcast. Like I was looking at, I have actually consistent views on the podcast. I think that's awesome. I think right now every episode's averaging like 10 views. So, I mean, we don't have a huge audience, but I mean, we got an audience, and I think that's amazing. This old lady next to me is checking out the car. Today's topic, being ungrateful versus healthy comparison. I struggle with this myself, I'll be honest with you guys. And the reason why I struggle with it is because I honestly have to question, because I want a lot of things in life. I want nice cars, a nice house, a business. I want to help people. I want to retire my parents. Like, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, like a number, I just want millions. And you have to stop and ask yourself, am I ungrateful? Because that's honestly, I think, is a really healthy question. If you're on that same wavelength where you're just like, I want a lot of things. And it's not that I don't have things, it's that I just want more. And I think it's healthy. Biblically, God gave wealth to many different people. One example was Solomon, King Solomon. King Solomon asked for wisdom, but because God appreciated that Solomon asked for wisdom, he gave him so many other things. He gave him riches, he gave him authority. And that's the thing, is that sometimes we have what we need, and we have a lot of things that honestly we want. Looking back to 8, 9, 10-year-old me, sitting here right now, he'd be so happy. He'd be so proud. He'd be so excited to get to where I'm at right now. Fast forward to 18-year-old me. If you told me that I wouldn't have a house, I'd be financing a car, and yeah, I have some money in the bank, but I don't have hundreds of thousands like I thought I would, I honestly wouldn't be looking forward to this life. But 10-year-old me would be stoked to get here. And so I was reflecting on this a couple months back, and then really just lately a couple different things that I've kind of noticed within myself, where of like, am I ungrateful, or is this just the pursuit of more? And so after I stopped and asked myself, I want you guys to stop and ask that for yourself as well. Are you ungrateful, or is it just you hungry for more, but you are happy with what you have? Okay, so happy with what you have, but always hungry. Let's put it that way. And so I had to ask myself, because honestly, I don't want to be ungrateful. I want to be grateful for everything I have, because you have to think about it. Just like you can always go up, you could always go down. And I was having this conversation with God this morning where I was like, I was saying thank you. I was saying thank you for everything that I have, even though it's not exactly where I want to be. At the end of the day, I was born with opportunity. I was born in a country with opportunity. I could take advantage of so much opportunity here. And whether it's just having a job that puts food on the table and a good roof over my head, decent vehicle to drive, that's way more opportunity than some people have in life, or will ever have in their life. It's not about like comparing yourself as like, I am better than those people that will never have this opportunity. It's not that at all. It's reminding yourself and understanding that you could always fall down that far. Solomon lost everything because he ended up messing around with the wrong people. God told him, I don't want you getting close to these people. Don't be marrying their women. And when he did, he lost everything. So wealth is biblical. And wanting expansion and wanting things is biblical. I think it was Daniel or David. I think it was David. David was sent to fight wars with other tribes, or whatever you want to call them, to expand the land for the Israelites. And so expansion is fine. Wanting growth, I think, is fine. Wanting to do better for yourself and for the people around you and to give to those close to you, or maybe just like a group of people, maybe just serve serve a community of people that you stand with, I think that's fine. But I think once you start getting into not being grateful with what you have, not being able to look at what you have and appreciate it, not being able to, or always looking at what someone else has and like, why do they have that? And I don't, I work harder than them. Here's the trick. I get caught in, that guy's car is nice, I want one of those. Or this is just a Mustang GT, not a 350, 300 Shelby, like anything crazy. It's a nice model, it's a nice car. I'm not complaining at all. But are there higher end models? Yeah. Are there cars more expensive that I would like to have? Yeah. I'm not saying, why do I only have this? I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. I don't say, why do I only have this? Why am I only able to afford this? What I do say is, that guy has his Lambo, that guy has his Ferrari, that guy has his McLaren, that guy has his Tesla. I think a Tesla would be cool to have as a daily. I can't afford those. I wonder how he got to where he's at, or her or she got to where she's at, so that they could afford those things. And could I do it through what I am trying to pursue? And if I can do it through what I'm trying to pursue, then I'm good. I'm on the right track. And I will get to my own. And that's all I want, is my own. I don't want theirs. I don't think they should lose theirs. I don't think that person, he or she, should lose everything they've worked for because I feel like I work harder. I think that's the negative mindset. I think the good, healthy mindset to be in is, they have theirs, they worked hard for theirs, they did whatever it takes, they scammed for theirs. I'm doing my thing. And that's why I tell you guys to choose one thing to lock in on and progress in that. Because when you know 100% in yourself that whatever you're deciding to pursue is going to get you the outcome that you want, you won't care about what anybody else is doing. I don't have a great outcome right now, but I know the potential of what I'm working on. And if I would not have chosen anything, maybe I'd be stuck in that mentality of like, I work harder, I work longer days, I work harder jobs. That person has something that came easy, either because they scammed or they just have worked for long years and they got it through easy money. For example, in my situation, it's day trading. It could be anything. I mean, this is my situation. It could be anything else for you guys. Let's just use mine because I can speak on what I'm doing. My situation is day trading. Some people, this morning, actually, I was watching somebody trade live this morning, and they were like, "Oh, I made $47,000 this morning. I think I'm good to call it a day." And I'm just like, dude, I maybe take that home a year after tax, and you're okay with 47K? And again, it's not like I wish that guy didn't make that because he's not even grateful or any of that. It's literally just, I will be there one day. I will have those days. I will have that potential to one day be there. Or I have that potential to one day be there because I'm working on it. And maybe let's see. Yeah, I have the potential to be there. How long will that take? That depends on how hard I want to work. How much I want to lock in on the things that I am pursuing. That guy did it for 10 years. I want it in 5. I got to work 2 times harder than that guy, at very least. I think healthy comparison is fine. I think looking at people around you, that's why they say surround yourself with people that are doing better than you, because you will always feel lesser than and you will always push for more. Now, if those people are bullying you because of what you have, those are bad people to be around. But if everybody else around you is doing just 1% better than you, you're going to want to at least be that. And healthy competition is do a little bit better than that. Again, I want mine, they have theirs. I'm okay with X, Y, and Z. And if somebody else is doing better, that's fine. I watch YouTubers with $100,000 cars, $1 million cars, different kind of lifestyles. And I'm like, whatever they did to get there, good for them. I don't care what they're doing. Or somebody's a vlogger. Somebody just has a big wrap shop. Somebody's an automotive detailer, and they're doing content, and so now they're able to scale their business. It's like, that's fine. I don't want to do that. Some people have construction companies. That's fine. I don't want to do that. I really don't. I want to figure out my own thing, my own niche, lock in on that, and if all I do is make $100,000 a year and somebody else makes $1 million in something else, my job is not to go pursue whatever they're doing. My job is to say, can I do that with what I'm doing? Yes or no? If I can, chase that. Let's go this way. If I can't, then either I say, but I'm okay with what I'm doing. If this is the peak, or if this is as much as I can get out of it, but I'm okay with it, doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. But if you choose to pursue something and you see somebody else doing better than you, again, it is fine to say, I can get there. It is perfectly fine to say, I can get there, and I want to get there. Whatever it is that took him to get there, I want to either do that faster because I want to be there faster and I want to level up faster for whatever reason, either just for competition or just because you're that hungry to chase that success, or again, it's like whatever it takes, however long it takes, I just want to be there. 10 years, I just want to be there. That's fine too. Again, it's your journey. You may not get to choose the outcome in your specific time frame, but you could choose the things you chase. Some people want to be on TV. I don't really want to be on TV. Somebody else makes $1 million and I'm only making a living off of whatever I'm doing. I'm not going to pursue their TV career. I don't want that. And I'm definitely not going to pursue it to take it from them because they're doing so much and I think that they don't need any more. But if I want to be a content creator, I'm going to compete with the other content creators to try and push out the best content that I can. To compete. To make space for myself. To get my own. Just like they competed to make their own space and to get their own, I'm going to compete to make space for my own. Not because I want somebody else to fall off. Anybody that I've ever tried to get along with, I've always wanted to see them grow with me. But I've also had those friends where they just jump from one thing to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, never lock in on one thing. They just kind of half-ass start looking at the same thing you are, and then somebody else shows them something else. Half-ass starts on the same thing that they're doing, and then decides to go pursue the next thing that somebody else is doing. Half-ass starts that. When do you compound? Like, you don't even give time for the skill to compound and get you anywhere. When you are certain on whatever you're working on, you will never be upset about how well somebody else is doing. Because it doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. And it shouldn't matter. But sometimes we do pay attention. Sometimes, again, it is okay to have that healthy criticism. But you can't compare a scuba diver and a plumber. They're two completely different jobs. Completely different income sources. And so why would you compare whatever it is that you're doing to the person that's flashing things online? You don't know if they're scamming. You don't know if they're honest. You don't know what they're actually getting their money from. You don't know if it's all fake. And you just have this perception of a type of life. And when you get caught up in that, sometimes we get discouraged in whatever it is we're doing. I try not to look at those people. I try to scope those people out and then get rid of that content. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to look at those people. Again, I want my own. Whatever that may look like. I want to pursue my own outcome through my own output and work. What about materialistic things? What about relationships? What about the other lusts in life? Food, abundance. What about all those things? It's the same thing. Somebody else's relationship, somebody else's partner. Why do you want that? Maybe a variation of it, but it's not, they don't deserve that person. And I see that a lot, actually. They don't deserve that person. That person takes advantage of them. That person doesn't deserve to be with that person because of X, Y, and Z. Or that person, I could treat them better. One of the worst. One of the worst that I hear. I could treat that person better. Again, kind of a tricky topic, but it's like, you can say, I like that person's personality. I like that they're funny. I like that they're bubbly. I like that they laugh a lot. I like that they smile a lot. That's perfectly fine. I like their personality. I would like to find myself someone like that. Happy for them. And if you can leave it at that without saying, but I want that person, but I like this person because of X, Y, and Z, or this person doesn't deserve to be with them, better with me, that's where, again, you're just either ungrateful or you don't have, or you can't appreciate the moment you're in. Different conversation, but I'm going to get into it a little bit. If you don't have a person in your life that you're content with, and you think that you could do better for somebody with somebody else's partner, it's because you yourself have not figured out a way to hold up a good partner. Simple as that. Again, conversation for a different day. Another lust is having some kind of attraction, having some kind of just like attraction. As people, we want to fit into a crowd. As much as people say they don't and they like being alone, they want to fit into some kind of crowd. That's just how we are created. That is just how the mind works, because we are not, as Christians, we are told that we are a body. We are the body of Christ. Therefore, we are not the whole body itself. We are a part. We have to come together and become the whole body, because what somebody else can do better than you can do something better than they can, and somebody else will do something else that the two of you can't, and so on and so forth. And then so that's why we create unity. That's why we have church. I know somebody that was like, I don't need to go to church because I'm perfectly fine with my relationship with God as it is, and I can work on my relationship with God outside of church. That's not the point of showing up to church. If you need church to stay close to God, you got to work on that. But the point of showing up to church is, for one, that's your baby steps into walking into faith. And then two, to be around like-minded people, to be around that same environment of people. And so I think that the root of wanting to be and fit into a crowd comes from that, because God designed us to be a group and all together be the body. And so again, it is hard. It is hard to look at situations, somebody else's situation, and say that it's better. And envy, and be like, why does this person have it like this and I don't? First off, that person did something you didn't. You can do it both ways. Why does this person have $1 million and I don't? Why does this person still live with their parents or live on the street and I don't? Why is this person used by everyone else? Why does everybody come to this person? Why does this person go to everyone for everything and doesn't find anything for themselves? It can always go both ways. Either looking at people and comparing yourself up from or down from. Why don't we ever compare down? Because that's humbling. And it's hard to do that. It's hard to be like, you know what? I'm okay living in an apartment, not owning a house. I don't have to go own a house right now. I don't have to go put myself in that amount of stress and debt that somebody else may have done. In the long term, they will have their house paid off, but in the short term, I am working on whatever I need to. I get that a lot. I get that a lot. You need to buy a house. You need to start your investment. No, I'm investing in myself. I don't need an investment of a property right now. I'm working on other things. If I put money into a property, I'm going to be spending another $1,000 plus living, and then in 50 years, I'm barely going to be getting started, because here in 20, 30 years, while I'm trying to pay off a house, I'm not going to have money to invest in the first 5 years of me doing something for myself. Again, if that's working for somebody else, good for them. But you sometimes don't know their situation either. They could have a 5-bedroom house with a $5,000 mortgage, making $6,000 a month, starving, but everything looks fine from the outside. And again, and that's just another reason why do not compare in that sense. Why compare why compare at all? You know what? That guy got his house and he's drowning in debt. Yeah, if that's what he wants, good for him. I wouldn't do it that way. I'm okay living in my apartment for the next 10 years as long as I don't have a $5,000 payment a month for a house when I'm making $5,000, $6,000 a month. I'm okay with it. Somebody else might look at me as lesser than. Somebody else might be able to pay off that house with cash. That's not me. I'm on my journey. I'm working on what I'm doing. I'm locked in on what I'm doing. And I chose what I'm doing, so I don't care what anybody else is doing, and I don't care what they have to say because I know the outcome that I'm going to get. Now, if you're going to work and the outcome, your outcome is the same expectancy as the guy next to you, then you really can't compare. I had this crazy thought hit me years ago. I was listening to a podcast, and I think this is what he was trying to get at, but didn't necessarily say it like this, but I understood what he was trying to say. And he said, if you have a job, you know exactly where you're going to be in 30 years. If you start some kind of investment, if you start some kind of business, who knows where you'll be in 30 years? If you have a job, you know you'll have a 401k, you'll know you'll have a paycheck every day, you know you'll be able to make your minimum payments. If you start a business, if you start a side hustle, if you start some kind of project, if you start something on the side for yourself other than that 9 to 5 or whatever you're working, 7 to 7, whatever, 9 to 5 is just your typical job. That's what you call a typical job. If that's all you got going for yourself, you can bet on you're going to have a retirement. You're going to have to work till you're 75. And who knows, at this rate, retirement might not even be there. You're going to need to double down on your 401k. But you can bet on that more than likely happening. You're probably not going to go bankrupt because you're going to have a job to show up to every day, make the minimum payments on whatever it is you're paying. But if you start something else on the side, who knows where you'll end up. You can go down or you can shoot up or you can stay the same. But you know what? At least you tried to do a little bit better. And you have more experience. But more than likely, again, back to biblical senses, there's nothing wrong with having riches and having more. And for the most part, it seems like it's granted as long as you're working on building that character that is responsible for having it. So yeah, sometimes it is hard to just be like, that guy has something I don't. That sucks. That guy shouldn't have it. I work harder than him. Why does he have it and I don't? Sometimes it's easy to do that. The hard thing is to say, thank you, God, for everything that I have. No matter how little I think it is, in all honesty, it is huge. Here's another thing I've heard. We have to thank God for the little we have. I'm like, little, dude. We live in the United States. We have so much opportunity. If we have nothing, we at least have opportunity. What do you mean little? Some people don't even have that. What do you mean little? It's not little. I am thankful for the challenges that I have to face because I'm able to. And you hear that a lot. Oh, because you have to be, you can face it. It's not that you have to, it's that you get to. I've always hated that. I've always hated it say it like that. I think you have to first understand why you get to, and then look at it and be like, okay, now if you're ungrateful from there forward, there's something wrong with you. But if you can look at it and be like, you know what? Yeah, some people don't even have the opportunity that I do. I really do get to do this, and I should be okay with it. And I should make the most of it and do something else if I didn't like it. Then you're on the right track. But I'm going to leave you guys with that. I've been finding this for a while now, and I've been sitting and thinking about it, praying about it, and this is the conclusion that I came to. is that if you can say that person has theirs, I don't need what they have, I just want to get my own version of it, I just want to get my own, I think that's healthy and I think that's fine. And if you're struggling with the same thing, am I ungrateful or am I just healthily comparing myself to where I look to be? This person is a good representation of where I want to be. And is it just a healthy outside perspective of what I want, of what I see myself as from here till I get there? Is that a healthy goal? And not looking at it with envy, not looking at it with a lust of I want what they have and I don't care what it takes, in a sense of if I need to hurt that person and take what they have so that I have it, or hurt somebody else to take theirs so that I have it. And just again, simply saying, I will have my own because I'm working on it. I will have my own relationship one day with a good partner because I'm going to work on myself and my personality and make sure that I am somebody that's attractive, not just physically, but emotionally and stability wise. And I mean, you can fix your physical appearance to a certain extent, but it's like, I'm going to be attractive. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on being attractive to attract a good partner. And then I can choose. I'll know how to pick out. When I used to have that bad mentality, I used to act like this, think like this. I don't want to pick somebody who's like that. I need somebody like-minded. Then you'll know how to find somebody like-minded. Somebody's house, I will have one like theirs. One day I will get my own, whether it's I want to pay $5,000 a month, I want to pay it cash, I want to put down half of it and then pay $2,000, or I just want to rent because I'm cool with where I'm at. Doesn't matter. Lock in on whatever it is that you want, and then whatever everybody else is doing around you won't matter, because you will know what outcome you are expecting. And if you don't know your outcome, then that's probably why, more than likely, either you're bitter or you're lost. But I see a lot of people that either don't get the outcome they expected, or they don't like that the outcome that is coming for them, and so they are bitter or lost.